A friend of mine in Dubai called me a few weeks ago. His son graduated 2 years ago from a solid British university. Finance degree, honours, internships in London, did everything right. 18 months of job hunting since then, hundreds of resumes, nothing. Not because the kid is bad, because those entry-level analyst jobs he was counting on just stopped existing in the same numbers. Companies plugged in AI tools, and suddenly one experienced analyst with one assistant covers what used to take a team of four. His father told me, I spent £180,000 on his education, and right now he's sitting at home. I've been recruiting executives for 25 years. My entire career is about reading where the job market is heading next. I've watched the dot-com boom, the mobile gold rush, the crypto frenzy. But what's happening with AI right now is a completely different scale. This isn't a few professions reshuffling. The entire career ladder is being rebuilt while people are still climbing it. And I have a daughter who turns 13 soon. So this isn't abstract for me. I need to figure this out. For her, and probably for your kids too. Here's the part that keeps me up at night. AI isn't coming for the people at the top. It's coming for the people on the first step. The graduates, the interns, the ones just getting started. Entry-level job postings in America dropped by a third in just 2.5 years. In the UK, tech internship hiring collapsed by nearly half. In India, where an engineering degree was always the golden ticket to the middle class, less than a quarter of top university graduates found jobs by spring of this year. Why beginners specifically? Because for centuries, careers had a formula. Young person comes in, does the grunt work, learns from seniors, and after a few years becomes a real professional. AI is eating exactly that grunt work. It doesn't replace the CFO, it replaces the intern. I'm seeing this in my own practice. A client hires a strong finance director through me, and that director used to bring a whole team, analysts and economists, support staff. Now I'm hearing, I don't really need all those people. A couple of short deputies and AI tools, that's enough. Imagine a ladder where someone pulled out the bottom 3 rungs. The top is still there, but how does anyone get up? And that creates a slow motion disaster nobody's talking about. Remove those starter positions today, and in 10 years, the market won't have enough seasoned professionals because they had nowhere to grow. Every previous technology revolution, the steam engine, the assembly line, the ATM, automated physical labor. And there was always a safe harbor, brain work. Get educated, sit in an office, you're protected. AI breaks that pattern. For the first time, the technology goes straight for the brain. Analysts, lawyers, coders, accountants, designers. Goldman Sachs estimates it could touch 300 million jobs worldwide. Not factory workers, the office class. NBC News polled Americans recently. Nearly 2/3 said a 4-year degree isn't worth the money anymore. PwC analysed close to 1 billion job postings and found employers dropping the degree requirement faster every quarter. Positions that require AI skills pay 50% more than equivalent roles without. The market isn't whispering, it's yelling. We want skills, not diplomas. So the old playbook, good university, safe office job, steady career, that playbook has a hole in it, and it's getting wider. Now here's where it gets counterintuitive, and this might be the most important thing I say in this episode. The safest career move your kid could make in 2026 might be learning a trade. I know a former programmer in Israel, left tech in 2023 to train as an electrician. His friends thought he'd lost his mind. Within a year, he was earning more than his last IT salary, with a 3-week client waitlist. Because good electricians are genuinely scarce, and every other programmer is now competing with an algorithm. We grew up believing that working with your hands meant you couldn't make it with your brain. That was always a bad assumption, and now it's a dangerous one. In a world where every other office worker competes with AI, someone who can rewire a smart home or calibrate an industrial robot is worth their weight in gold. The World Economic Forum confirms it. Farmers, builders, healthcare workers are among the fastest growing professions through 2030. Over 40% of Gen Z in America is already choosing trades, including a third of those who have college degrees. They're not confused. They did the math. So if I had to map out where the opportunities actually are, it breaks into 5 areas, and they're all connected by one idea. AI can replace information and routine, but it can't replace presence, empathy, or physical skill. Start with hands and presence. Everything we just talked about: surgery, electrical work, construction, precision agriculture, unpredictable environments where a robot simply can't function the way a human can. That connects naturally to human for human work. Medicine, psychology, social work, real teaching, the kind that inspires, not just delivers facts. Would you go to an AI therapist when you're truly falling apart? Would you send an algorithm to comfort your kid after a bad day at school? That instinct you just felt? That's the moat around these professions. Then there's AI plus a domain. And this is where the biggest salaries are heading. Not pure programmers, but people who understand both the technology and the field where it's applied. AI plus law, AI plus medicine, bioinformatics, diagnostics, drug development, AI plus finance, ecology, behavioral psychology. The principle is simple. AI is an amplifier. On its own, it doesn't mean much. Give it to someone who deeply understands their field, and that person becomes 5 times more effective. Cybersecurity is its own animal. The more powerful AI gets, the more doors it opens for attackers, and the more people you need guarding those doors. A CISO I know told me, every new AI tool a business deploys is another entrance I have to protect. I can't hire fast enough. And finally, experience and presence. The careers people tend to overlook: live sports, theatre, gastronomy, luxury craftsmanship, event production, adventure travel. Everything where people pay not for a result, but for the feeling of being there. A robot will cook a perfect steak, but people will still line up for the chef who comes to the table and tells you why he chose this cut and where it came from. All right, practical stuff. Stop thinking in job titles and start thinking in types of work. Not analyst at McKinsey. That title could evaporate in 3 years. Instead, solving complex problems with data. The activity survives even when the job description doesn't. Layer A1 skills on top of whatever your kid studies. Doesn't matter if it's medicine, law, or engineering. Think of AI literacy like English 20 years ago. Back then it seemed like a nice bonus. Now you can't function without it. AI competency will follow the same path, just faster. Build a portfolio, not a resume. Projects, hackathons, certifications, anything your kid can show, not just tell. Help them start in high school, not after graduation, not junior year of college. now. I see this constantly in the searches I run. Clients keep asking, what has this person built? Nobody asks where they went to school anymore. And above everything else, teach them how to learn. Google found internally that learning ability is the single strongest predictor of long-term success. Not knowledge, not grades, not pedigree. The ability to pick up something new fast, apply it, evaluate the result, and improve. That's the one skill that never becomes obsolete. My daughter asked me to help with a biology project last week. I said, let's ask AI together, but then you check every single fact yourself. An hour later, she'd found 2 mistakes in its answers, and she was thrilled about it. That moment, that's the whole future compressed into 1 hour at a kitchen table. Not fearing the technology, not blindly trusting it either, working alongside it, checking it, catching where it stumbles, and knowing when your own judgment matters more. Nobody can pick the right profession 20 years out. Nobody. So don't try. Teach your kid to learn fast, build things that prove what they can do, and not be afraid of changing direction. Their career won't be a straight line, and honestly, that's fine. That's just how it works now. What I do know is this: waiting to figure it out feels a lot riskier than starting to prepare today. That's it for today. I'm Mike Tuczynski. Thanks for spending these minutes with me. If this episode made you think about your own kid's future, or if you know a parent who's wrestling with these same questions right now, send it their way. It might be exactly the conversation they need to have. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. I've got some good ones in the works. Until next time, take care.